So, last year I had an amazing opportunity to be you guys, the audience of TEDxOOB. And I gotta say, that was one of the coolest events I had ever attended. I got the opportunity to listen to some amazing speakers from different schools. And the food was just amazing. These speakers really inspired me, like, I want to do that. So I got home, fired up my computer, went on Word, and nothing. I couldn't think of anything. My mom told me to work on it with a fresh mind. So the next morning, went on Word again, and still nothing. You see that? Nothing. So it went on like that for a while. A couple of days, extended to a couple of weeks, which further went to a couple of months. Finally, it came up to a point during summer vacations when I started getting really worried because I couldn't come up with anything. And then my dad suggested, why not talk about something that you really like? And I was like, why didn't I think of that before? So at around this time, I loved watching this one TV show. And each episode of the show had so much mystery to it that it thrilled me. And you could come up with all sorts of topics and ideas relating to the show. So I came up with one on my own. And for obvious reasons of, being able to reuse topics, I am not going to disclose it. But I'd search it up on Google just to be on the safer side that it is, in fact, an original idea. And this came up. Now, first of all, I'd like to apologize for the mess. But in my defense, I only had MS Paint. So this annoyed me quite a lot because I wanted the page to come up like this. No search results. So with no new and original idea to talk about and plenty of other pending work, I'll admit, I forgot about it. Fast forward to the last week of November when they announced TEDxOOB 2019. I'll also admit, I sort of panicked. Just a bit, though. So we had a long weekend. I swore to myself, I am not going to get up out of my seat until I come up with the next big thing. A few hours later, though, I was fast asleep. Yeah. Now, I believe all great ideas come to people in the shower. Believe me, because the next morning when I was in the shower, I actually came up with an idea. It's weird how that happens, right? So when I got out of the shower, I went and explained my idea to my parents, and it went something like this. Mom, Dad, I was just thinking. It seems to me that all these great, life-changing ideas have already been done. The wheel, done way long back in the Stone Age, I think. The light bulb, Thomas Edison did it. The telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. And a very recent one, which many of you may not get, but hopefully you do. The Avengers, Nick Fury did it. Rest in peace, by the way. So it seems like there's no new scope for discovering any more ideas. And hence, I have come up with a topic. Are we running out of ideas? My parents stared at me for a really, really long time. And then my dad said, son, how do you know? But yeah, are we running out of ideas? I like to begin by quoting a very famous person that I really, really look up to. And yeah, this is it. If you go around looking for any major innovations today, you won't find that many. And for all of you who don't know who he is, I'm going to embarrass myself. It's me. Jokes aside, I feel like there's been quite a general decline in the number of ideas that have impacted our world. And to prove my point, I have come up with a graph that is based on hours of research, sweat, lost. Ignore that. So this is the graph. At first, it may seem sort of inaccurate, but that's not the point. I just need you to focus on that blue circle over there. If you pay close attention to it, if you analyze it just carefully, you'll realize that that slope, it's going down. You know what that means? We're running out of ideas. You see that impact? It's gone down. And this is a very serious issue. Another connection I just want to put out there. All these great life-changing ideas, they help make our lives so much easier. Trust me, I know how much easier it made my life. But here's the thing. The easier our lives get, the lazier we become. And the lazier we become, the more our creativity goes down. And the more our creativity goes down, the less the number of ideas are produced. So, in a weird way, more ideas lead to less ideas. What? I know, when I came to that conclusion, I was like, that's sad. And I've called this the cycle of, what name here? Oh. Why did I call it that? I'm lazy. That's right. Moving on, so from all of my research and evidence that I have gathered, which is to say a lot, I'm telling you, I've come to realize that there's one big problem over here. In the near future, we may face the possible issue of lack of creative and original ideas. But is it a good thing? So I was just thinking, like, why not? You see, ideas are meant to lead to the development of our society. And if the number of ideas are reducing, doesn't that mean we're reaching our peak of development? I am so wrong. There are still so many issues out there in so many different fields that we need ideas to solve these issues. Besides, people are probably just not thinking that hard enough. Side note, I'm excluded from that. You can see it from my suffering that I'd gone through to come up with this talk. Sympathize with me, please. But is there any solution to not having any idea? Well, yes. There has always been one. And that one, the best, most efficient method of coming up with an idea is brainstorming. Just bounce ideas off your friends and families and just see, like, does this make sense? Am I being crazy? Or does this make sense? Another suggestion, you can talk to small kids. No matter how naive and how much they don't know how the world works. Side note, no offense to any of those kids out there, if there is anyone. Their creativity is just boundless. And I mean boundless, like, you see, I bet you they will be able to find a connection between two seemingly unrelated things that even you couldn't think of yourself. And you never know, what they may have to say may actually have some sense to it. And you could take inspiration from them to come up with new ideas. One disclaimer though, from what I've just said, don't infer it as a given permission to, steal ideas from 5-year-olds. That is 100% wrong. I disagree to that completely. Do not do that. And if you still don't have any idea, forget about it. Go about your daily routine. You never know. You may actually come up with an insightful idea, especially when you're not thinking of one. Because that's how I came up with one. If you recall, that was in the shower. Yeah. So finally, to answer the question, are we running out of ideas? I'm pretty sure it's obvious we are not. We have so many issues, and we need ideas to solve these issues. Ideas, they just tend to pop up in our heads at most random points of time. Sort of like me in every other party or gathering I go to, uninvited. Please, I don't have friends. I guess it's like every other examination paper that I've ever had. At first, when I see the paper, I'm like, oh my God. what? But then after the paper, I'm like, it's fine. That was so good. Have it. I'm going to ace this. It was that good. All of you guys, all of you students out there, don't get triggered by what I just said. You guys are amazing. So I guess it's just, I feel like the brain has its own split personality disorder. Parts of the brain's just freaking out at the fact that it can't come up with any idea, while the other half is like, it's chill. We got this. We can do this, okay? Don't worry. So if you want to blame anyone or anything for all your troubles and sufferings that you're going through, go ahead. Many of you didn't get that. That was a pun. So finally, what was the point of me speaking for? I have no idea how long I spoke. But what was the point? Nothing. Just think about it. At the start of my speech, I had no idea what to say. Now, I still have no idea what to say. That is my idea. In simpler terms, create something out of nothing. That's what I did with my talk. If you think about it, like just think about it, that's what I did. Anything as insignificant as, say, a pencil, a pen, or even a used burnt matchstick can lead to the next revolutionary idea tomorrow. And with that, I'm done. Thanks.